Welcome to this new class on cities. Breathe, relax, pay attention inside. Peaceful, contemplative. As we get ready in our mind, in our body, relaxing to follow this class. Good. Deep breath. Last week, we covered Apsagata. I did not follow the normal element order. The 5 elements, if we classify them by density, we start with earth, which is the densest, then water, then air, fire, and spirit or heavens. If we classify them philosophically, it is earth, fire, heavens, water, and air. There will be another class on why. Okay, so Apsagata I started for these cities of the 5 elements. We would do the philosophical classification or creationist classification, starting with earth, then fire. But we have misconceptions about the earth and fire, and I didn't want to start with that. And it's good. Apsagata, it's a good step. It's a good state to start with because it's the least aggressive or the least arrogant, if you want, when we practice siddhis. What do I mean? Practicing the 5 siddhis, the siddhis of the 5 elements this way, to cultivate the attitude, the attitude of water, Apsagata. And then, like all of the 5, we contemplate the siddhi so it will work by itself, but we also have in our mind a preconception of what is fire and earth and water and air and spirit, which are misconceptions, okay? So we need to be careful about what we are intellectually contemplating. The siddhi itself will work as it is. It will bring the universal experience of it, or the fundamental truth of it. But what we have in our mind temporarily affects, especially the first days. Okay. So there will be another class where I teach about the arrogance against the elements, the arrogance we have, and the misconception we have. But I want to indicate here the arrogance of water, or the reaction we can develop by having too much water element compared to the others, like being unbalanced. The water element makes us fantasize, makes us dream, makes us stick with desires that are unresolved. Okay, so it is to fantasize. It's not that dramatic. The arrogance of fire, for example, fire does not have arrogance. We are arrogant when we think fire. Okay, the arrogance against fire that we have is when you think fire, you think power. Actually, that means, that attitude of clashing power means destruction, causing pain, wreaking havoc or chaos around us. Okay, because the real essence of fire is to radiate light and heat, is to cultivate life inside the cells, not this power trip, So when we meditate on the elements in wanting to cultivate their attitude, the Siddhi itself will work. It will bring us towards that attitude. But the philosophy that we contemplate, temporarily the ego will want to use it and starts to distort the true essence of an element. So I would not see myself at first teaching you earth and fire, and then you become indifferent to everything and then have instincts of destruction. That would not be cool. So I started with Apsagata, the fourth in that series of 5. Because Apsagata is so smooth, it's chill. And the arrogant reaction we can have is to just fantasize more. But it does not necessarily destroy others, okay? Or cause bouts of violence or stuff like that, okay? So today we start with the earth. And I'll see if I teach all 5 in a row today. We probably have time for that. There's not much to teach. It's teaching the process, then you practice this week. So we start now with the earth. The earth element, the misconception, is that we become like a rock hard. That is not the earth. That's a rock. Okay? The earth element is productive. It gives life. It nourishes living beings through plants. And then the animals eat these plants. We can eat the plant ourselves. Some of us eat the animals also. The earth provides sustenance. And it emits an electromagnetic field. Yes, the earth is grounded, down to earth, but it's not hardened as a rock. It is objective, empirical. It observes facts that are manifest. So as we practice Prithivigata, I arrive like the earth. I behave like the earth. Prithivigata. Don't harden like a rock. Contemplate what the primordial earth essence is, which is to be objective, grounded, emit an electromagnetic field, so a field around us, and be productive. Earth promotes life. It creates. For us to behave like the earth means to be productive as a human. Okay? This explanation being done, let's summarize it in grounded and productive, objective and productive. Okay? That's the earth element behavior. Prithivigata. To behave like the earth. The 5 elements will summon in us a form of arrogance, something to do personal growth with. Okay? Prithivigata cultivates this grounded feeling, the objectivity, and to be productive. But our ego will react with indifference. The earth elementals do their thing. And they don't really care about other things, what doesn't concern them, okay? So the reaction that we can have as a human with an ego is to become indifferent to a point of irresponsibility, okay? Which is the contrary of being objective and down to earth, okay? So just be careful to know about that. If you decide to become, if you realize that you're becoming indifferent. Now there's a gray zone there. The earth elemental is non-dramatic. It's just here doing its thing. It's productive. And it promotes life. Remember that. So usually by being non-dramatic, you do stop caring for a lot of the waves that don't really matter in the end. So that's good. You see, that's the good influence of the earth element. But then we start to go into this attitude which is not nourished by the Siddhi. The Siddhi does not produce that. We as a human have that arrogance. We will use this indifference and push it to the extreme of not even caring for actually what matters, for what affects our life. And that means becoming irresponsible. Okay? The earth elementals, the spirits of the earth, they do not like people who are irresponsible and lazy. They like people who are slowly but surely, always going towards the objective. Now, another parenthesis, if you are retired and you spent your life working and it's time for you to rest, then rest. Be productive in your rest. You know, if you're in a burnout, that Siddhi doesn't mean keep working. It means now be productive in your rest. Like whatever you do, you will do it to promote life. Okay? So you won't overexert yourself, but you'll be focusing on what is productive, what is best for you. All right. Let's take a minute and contemplate Prithivigata. I arrive like the earth. I behave like the earth. Prithivigata. That is my behavior. Grounded, objective, productive. Promoting life. Prithivigata. Prithivigata. Just a bit of practice. Prithivigata. Prithivigata. All right, deep breath. I agree, it is quite a short class on the arrogance against elements. To say it quicker, we have a reflex of saying the arrogance of the earth, the arrogance of fire. Let's remember, the earth and fire do not have arrogance. It is our arrogance against the element, or our misunderstanding of the elements, or our ego's abuse of the elemental attitude, okay? So as a reflex, or to make it sure, we say the arrogance of that element. The arrogance of earth is to be lazy and indifferent to actually should matter, to what should matter. Let's move on with fire. Agnigata. I behave like fire. Now the first thing, I am like fire. Because we want power. The power trip is the arrogance against fire. Fire is not aggressive. It's not violent. Fire itself radiates heat and energy and light. And that is beautiful. It is radiant. Okay? So I am radiant. I arrive in radiance. Now, someone who wants to arrive like a radiant person could be a bit too proud. Pride is the arrogance of space, the next one. The arrogance against fire is our conception that it is violent and destructive. Sometimes, before you succeed an integration, an emotional integration, before you observe yourself in that process of personal growth, you're trying very hard to integrate, but all of the scenario of your drama is pretty intense. And you would have a thought is, if that person could just die, it would be resolved. You know, we have these thoughts. If this person would just be destroyed, disappear, that is the arrogance against fire. Okay? That is the arrogance that we say the arrogance of fire. The arrogance we have in thinking about the fire element, the destructive aspect of the fire element. The element of fire is only destructive on the physical plane when it is somewhere that we did not want. Because usually fire in the oven, we want it. It's constructive. It is cooking the meal. Fire we want in the heating system to be comfortable in the house. In fact, every day we are exposed to the benefits and the blessings of fire so much. Heating of food, heating of the environment so we can be comfortable. That's the radiance of fire. It is measured. It is controlled, especially if we did the earth before. If we are grounded, progressive, adapted to the reality. And then fire, inspired by the previous earth attitude, fire will promote life. It is that radiance of life, light, heat. And it will affect our mind, bringing clarity, our heart, burning some trash in our heart. It will destroy, in the sense it will destroy the trash. Sometimes we see fire destroy something that we didn't want destroyed. When it burns a house, it burns a tree. Okay. When a machine overheats and breaks, like a car engine, stuff like that. That is when we lose control over fire. That is fire unchecked, unmonitored, unmastered. So out of a power trip, we want to feel powerful. I am like the fire. Blah. And that attitude causes the excess of fire and pushes us into this desire, I hope to destroy something. Okay, that's the unresolved aggressivity inside us. That's our anger issues that produce that. It is arrogance against fire. Because that destruction goes against the original purpose of fire, which is to bring life. The fire in every cell of our body that heats our body, that causes our body to generate its own heat, keeps us alive. Okay, we're hot-blooded creatures, humans, warm blood. So think about this life-promoting fire. And the destruction inside us is measured to relieve negative thoughts, dense, hurtful emotions, and burn through intoxicants in our body, purify the trash in a mastered, controlled way, peaceful, minutious, like with agility. It's not a raging fire. It is a progressive fire. Okay? So liberation of negativity, promoting light, life, and heat. Agnigata. I am radiant. I behave with radiance. If you have the shame of spreading your light or shedding light around you, maybe the shame could rise also. It's not about the arrogance in this state. It's just like normal human fear of emanating as they are. Okay? Agnigata. I'm radiant fire. I arrive somewhere like fire. Like this light-giving life. We can switch around. Life-giving light. And that's even more hippie. I like it. Agnigata. Agnigata. You feel the heat of fire inside you. You feel it radiance in your environment. On every plane, if you can think that far. And be careful to see when your ego wants to go powerful. Fire already is powerful. Fire has the ability to communicate itself to something else without losing itself. If you have water in a cup and you want water into another cup, you pour it and you lost your water in the first cup, but now you have it in the second. Fire is so powerful that it multiplies. If you have fire on a candle, you approach the second candle. Now the second candle has fire, but the first candle didn't lose it. Okay? That's the power of fire. This radiation's propagation, that is powerful. It propagates. So every part of trash in you that lights fire can light the trash around it. And then it cleans. As long as just in the state of arriving like fire, behaving like fire, Agnigata. That purifying fire is sustained through your attitude, Agnigata. You practice the Siddhi to empower and amplify this fire phenomena, this fire experience in a masterful and controlled way. Not controlled like oppressing control, just like there's no rage. There's an intention of giving life, of spreading the light and removing the darkness. Agnigata. Deep breath, peaceful attitude, Agnigata. 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 Deep breath and come back. Good. Really nice. the short periods of practice we do during class are absolutely not enough to understand all the depths of the Siddhi. It's an initiation, it's an introduction. Then on your own, you practice a few minutes every day. Now, if you're serious, you'll do 20 minutes, even up to an hour for the freaks. 5 minutes is what is required to follow this class. For this week's practice, I recommend 5 minutes of Prithivigata, so that you have a good in-depth feeling of Prithivigata, of being like the earth. And once you've done that, you do 5 minutes of Agnigata. We do 2 Siddhis this week. Prithivigata, a few minutes, followed by Agnigata. You'll see the mix of them, pretty nice. And the earth element that grounds us and brings more stability, more peace, will prevent the generation of anger and power trips in the fire element. You'll see the grounding effect of the earth is soothing, is cooling inside Prithivigata. So that when we go to Agnigata, the radiance is influenced by our first practice. Okay, 5 minutes of each. And next week, we'll do the other 3 elements. Heavens, water for 1 minute, a review, and then air. And we'll do we'll do all 5 as a review. Okay. Good. Very nice. Prithivigata Agnigata. Enjoy your week.